Do one live. TGIF. Today is Friday the 13th.
Kind of a freaky Friday.
It's Freaky Friday, Friday the 13th. A perfect day for a little Tim Holtz Halloween ideology. And it looks like a little Simple Stories Halloween with Maggie.
Yes. Good morning. Welcome to Freaky Friday. It's time to start thinking about Halloween. So
it is.
We've got a few little home decor pieces.
I love it. Maggie's going to show us all about these. Doing a little spraying today,
Yes,
right?
And then you're going to learn how to make a authentic witch's broom.
Oh.
We're going to make one of these today.
And I want to hear all about how you came up with that idea, Maggie. I really do, because she's always, they have twigs, and Maggie is known, if you're a fan of Memory Bound and you've been around a little bit, Maggie loves twigs and sticks, and she gathers them like the gathered twigs ink,
And I drag my husband out. It's a good way to get out and walk in the woods, but I drag him out and he goes,
I'm sure he loves it.
He says, do we have to go out and pick up those sticks tonight? But yes. So
it is funny because you are the stick person. Anything with wood or twigs or sticks is all about Maggie.
I went for a bike ride yesterday and I kept going by all these nice branches laying on the ground, but I couldn't stop and pick them up, and it was driving me crazy.
Maggie, I'm going to have to get you a basket for your bike so that you can pick up those sticks.
And that's what I need.
And maybe a little portable chainsaw that you can carry with you so you can chop up the limbs.
My clippers. I have my little clippers.
Oh, my gosh. Well, it is Friday, everybody, and there's a lot of people joining us here because Ruby just hopped on, and Natalie says good morning, and Pat says, hey, y'all, good morning. So exciting, loving the Halloween. And Maggie is a big Halloween fan. A lot of us here love Halloween.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we all look forward to that Halloween, the Halloween and fall lines that come in about 1st of August usually, somewhere in there. And I just can't wait for them.
Well, they're here. It's here, and it's good. I think we have all of our Halloween is here except for one collection we're waiting on from Frank Garcia. And maybe it's not going to make it. I don't really know.
Oh, wow.
Cheryl says good morning. She thinks they're cute. Jan is watching from Virginia. Robin's here from South Dakota. We got a good crowd to hop in on here.
We have a customer in the store from Mankato.
Oh my gosh.
So
Kim says good morning, girls. And Peggy's here from Ohio. We just got people from all over the place. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's the end of the week. It's Friday the 13th. They love the Freaky Friday. That was Maggie's idea.
It just kind of happened. You know, all of a sudden we realized it was a Friday and it was the 13th, and we're going,
and we're doing Halloween.
Perfect, yes.
We're doing Halloween.
Yes.
So let's see. Do you need birch sticks? Oh, Jan will bring you some in November if you want some.
I think I have some. But thank you. I have a big birch branch hanging from my ceiling in my garage, just in case I need it.
Just in case.
And that was from the tree that they chopped down by Walgreens up here. So.
Oh, do you want to tell about your Walgreens tree?
Well,
I think you should tell that story.
Before we moved, we had 2 huge birch trees. So I always had an endless supply of birch branches because I like them because they get real tiny and you can use them for tiny projects. But when we moved, I have no birch trees around. So there is a Walgreens right up the street here that had this big, beautiful birch tree, and it was always dropping leaves. So every time I'd stop, I'd grab a branch. And then last year, when I made those pumpkins for the crop, and everybody needed twigs, I sent them up to that Walgreens.
Up to Walgreens.
To pick up, and a lot of the ladies did. They picked up their branches and took them back to the crop. So probably about 2 months ago, we drove into the Walgreens here, and there was a chainsaw laying in the parking lot, and half the tree was gone. And I just freaked out.
Maggie was mourning
I said,
her.
oh my gosh, they're taking my tree. So I ran over there because I think the guys were taking a break. Left their chainsaw right in the middle of the parking lot. But I ran over and grabbed a big branch just so I could have a branch from that tree.
And are you saving it?
It's hanging in my garage. Randy hung it up because he got tired of it laying on the floor. So
they just said, Jean says she hopes Maggie wasn't part of the tree dying at Walgreens. Just kidding.
Well, I never
And-
took live ones. I always took the dead
And
ones.
Mary Ann, when you were talking about trees, before you finished your story, she said, "How about your Walgreens tree?"
I have a picture. I have a photo of it being halfway cut down.
Oh, that's sad.
I will keep it forever.
You're going to have to find another tree. And really, that's a block from Memory Bound. It was super close.
It was very convenient. And I just picked them up off the ground. I'm sure they appreciated it.
She wasn't actually cutting branches off.
They are very prolific leaf or branch fallers. So you can always
I didn't know
find
that.
some.
We have a birch tree in our yard. I'll have to look for
you've got to have
sticks
a bunch
for you,
of
Maggie.
sticks laying under.
So that's
The
really
wind
funny
comes
that
up
people
and-
knew about your Walgreens.
I'll have to dig out
Not
that
everybody
photo.
goes to Walgreens for sticks. Usually it's maybe prescriptions or...
And they didn't even ask me before they cut it down.
Yeah, they should have had permission.
Yeah. So, but I do like birch branches are good. But I've been like, this is a birch. That's a birch branch right there. It's kind of a reddish one.
We have...
There's different kinds of birches.
We have a
too.
question this morning. So before we get started with Maggie, we'll show that. But let's show the card that Stacy brought in. We had a card hand delivered to us yesterday by Stacy, and it's just so pretty. Those colors, I
is
love
beautiful.
the brown and kind of the bluish gray together.
We were trying to figure out what blue that was. Maybe it's blue and
Probably a
black
mixture.
soot mixed with it.
I know she did the moon first. She told me she did the moon because she used the Tim Holtz mask and then masked it off. It's hard to say masked.
And the cool thing about this mask, Kelly, is there's 3 different sizes of moons in there. So if you don't, she must have used the large one, but then there's the medium and the small. So you get, that's $7.99. It's a great mask.
So she did the moon. I'll zoom in on it. You can see the little craters and stuff that's in the
Beautiful.
mask. And I love the colors. And then we had ordered a stamp in that she wanted. It's called Nature's Discovery. And it's an older stamp. I don't know if we ever had it originally.
I remember when she came and wanted this one.
So we ordered it,
Okay.
and it's $24.99, and that's what she then stamped her, I don't know, branches, or I might be stuck on the tree words. But so she took that and then stamped it right over the top, and she's got some stamped in lighter colors, or she off-stamped. Is that what you call it, Maggie, when you stamp it on something else?
Could have second generation or...
So anyway, look how pretty that is.
It is a beautiful card. And where there is light, there is shadow. Wonder where she found that.
So anyway.
I remember she came in, and I remember writing it down because I didn't know which one it was.
I don't remember ever having that, but it's
beautiful.
It's number 49, so it's a little bit older in the collection, and it's also packaged on the white, so it's got a little bit different packaging. But you got the butterflies, and so anyway, if you'd like to reinvent her card,
That's
and
a very cool
she
quote,
said
too.
it was inspired. Let me look at this. It was inspired by a video by Allison Balmer.
Oh, that's Words and Pictures. That's the one that I did.
Do you follow her?
Yes, and I did a video probably about a month ago, and I gave out her address.
Oh,
She's on Instagram, and she's got a blog too.
And
Very
Stacy
cool.
said she cut the sentiment just from some random stamp. She's watching.
Okay.
And
Oh,
it's Stacy
really?
with an IE. I think I might have spelled her name wrong, but
You
Stacy
did.
with an IE.
A beautiful job.
Yeah, we love it, Stacy.
And if you don't have this mask is great for any time of year, but it's fun for Halloween too.
Okay, I think we're muted. Everybody says we're muted. I wonder when we went muted. I don't think we're muted anymore. Sorry about that, you guys. I think I touched something and I muted us. Anyway, here's the holly and ivy bunny. Sorry about that. I hope. We just need to know if we're not muted anymore. So, we good? They still say we're muted. But I don't, but it's delayed.
Something.
Oh, we're back.
We're back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, there's a little microphone sign at the bottom of this camera screen, and it just happens to be next to where I scroll messages that are coming in, and I scroll them and I hit the mute button. So we're back. I don't think anyone missed anything terribly exciting, but we're going to show you the new things from Lawn Fawn, and then we're going to move on to our Freaky Friday stuff with Maggie.
Okay, let's start with Happy Fall. I'm going to show the sample first, and this is a die, $12.99, and it's quite a large
It's called
size.
Giant, it's called Giant Happy Fall, and it's all hooked together. That's important to me, Maggie. I don't want to be
It is very nice.
placing a bunch of letters.
Plus, once you cut it, you don't have to figure out where it goes. Happy Halloween. Here's the sample.
It's another big one, too.
Giant Happy Halloween, $12.99. And
That's really big. Wow.
yeah, that would cover a whole. Would that be too big for the front of an A2 card?
I don't know. Not horizontally.
Yeah, that's what I was
I think
wondering.
it's too wide to go portrait, but you can do
Yeah.
a horizontal card.
Cool.
Oh, I like
And
this.
we have pumpkins, and it comes with stems, some fun stems. And, they show it stacking.
These are stitched pumpkins.
And that's $14.99.
The others are called Giant. I like how they call them Giant Happy
Yeah,
Halloween.
I do too.
And Giant Happy Fall.
This one is called Cute Cobweb.
And it is cute.
It is cute. Put that in the corner of a little card or a tag. Didn't have a sample on that one. That one's only $6.99. That would be a cute one to have. Then this one is called Cute Candy Canes, and this one does have a sample on the front of a card. And it has 2 layers so that you can cut this maybe out of red and then cut this out of white or vice versa, and then lay them on top of each other. And that one is $16.99.
I like how it's got the little bow or the little holly and berries.
I love this because that really makes it quick and easy.
Oh, I like this too.
This one is called Stitched Snowflakes. There's a sample. $19.99. Those are beautiful snowflakes.
I think this die has been around for a bit, unless they've updated it, but this is one of my favorites. When you start doing the stitch, like the stitch pumpkin, the stitch snowflakes, they look
adds a
really
little detail,
It
doesn't
does,
it?
and it looks really cool when you cut them out.
This one is small stitched rectangle stackables. I think they've had those.
Yep, yes, and this is got the A2 size on it.
And so it cuts frames, right?
No, it cuts.
It
cuts a mat.
I have a hard time with these. So it cuts mats, but they're stitched around the edge.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to make a frame, you just put these 2 together and die cut and cut out a
Absolutely.
frame. I always have to think about it when I look at these. This
I know, you have
one
to really
is
look at
called
the dies.
large stitched rectangle stackables.
That's a big
I
word.
wanted to say rectangular.
Hey, it's Freaky Friday. Now, see, these you could use for mats also on top of each other.
Yeah, and this one is probably my favorite here. This one is called Stitched Leaves. So you've got lots of stitches here.
We got a lot of stitches.
Yes, and those, it's one of those things you just need to have dies like this for fall, and then you just pull them out and you've got some leaves. And that's $14.99. And look at that.
That's cute with a little cup. So we got you covered here because we've got the stitched leaves, the stitched snowflakes, and the stitched pumpkins. All right. Okay. Like we said, if you're just joining us, Maggie's here today. Maggie does a lot of Halloween projects, and it's Friday the 13th, Freaky Friday, and she's going to tell us all about what she's got. And she even made some brooms with her birch sticks.
Yes, and we're going to have a little
And
lesson
another
on how
and
to make them.
And two Tim Holtz ingredients, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, tell us all about what you've got.
Okay, I'm going to start out. I love to take a cut apart page, and I took this one. This is Simple Stories, Scary Stories. And I love to see how many things I can make out of this. And so I started out with this one. And I took this, only I cut out about, a fourth of an inch around to get that black border.
So you kept some of the black.
Yeah, and then I just hand cut it because I didn't want it perfect. So if you can see, I didn't make it real perfect.
That's cool.
And then once I cut it out, I used my paper distressing tool and roughed up the edges. Well, then I thought, my sewing machine was sitting over there, and it was already on zigzags, so I just thought, well, we'll give it some detail. So I did that, and then I used the back, and now this takes a little bit of thinking, because you're going, which one am I not going to use? So I figured out I probably wouldn't use these two, so that's the part that I cut out for the background.
There's the background. Now
so don't just cut, just
well, and we should mention this is from the Scary Stories line from Simple Stories.
Yes, so. Right here. And then I found this 31, and I cut it out, and I kind of fussy cut it because it had little what do you call that?
Scallops?
Scallops, yeah. And so I just kind of fussy cut around the scallops, not that it showed up too much, because then I took my distressing tool and really roughed it up. And then I'm into eyelets right now, and so I love these are I should probably go get one. It's a package of, like, you can get warm colors and you can get cool colors, and I'll go grab those. But I started out by punching a hole and it just lacked something, so I added that.
I think eyelets are cool. I think Memory Bound needs to bring eyelets back. We need to bring
eyelets back. I love them,
back.
yeah. And with the crocodile, they're so easy. So anyway, this is my homemade broom. Just the We Are ones, the cool and the warm metal. Okay,
and you're adding your broom.
Tim Holtz used to have a package of brooms when she got it. When they first came out, thank you. Okay, so this one is the
Cool.
So you get like all these different colors.
You get 60.
It is the 3/16 16th size, and that's my favorite size for a lot of things. You can get the smaller ones, but these are really easy to use. So, and you get a lot.
Yeah.
And I just tied it to the broom. But what I started to tell you is Tim Holtz used to have brooms. When he first came out with them, they were a package of like 2. And they were just by themselves. Well, I love them, but then he decided this year to put them in a package. And so he's gotten, you can see it's almost, I bet it was a twig that he made that pattern from. But anyway.
Maybe from your Walgreens tree.
Yes. And so anyway, he's gotten a lot more authentic looking to me. With his brooms, but you now get it with a package with the tombstones, which, you know what, I really do like these tombstones.
Okay, let me zoom in on the tombstones. So, and that package, what is that called?
This package is called.
Okay, hang on tight.
Graveyard.
Hang on tight, everybody.
It's called Graveyard.
Got to make some room.
Okay, and Kelly, did you know there's a difference between a graveyard and a cemetery?
I don't remember the difference. I remember you talking about it, but I don't remember.
A graveyard is a graveyard that's attached to a church, like it's to the side of the church.
And a cemetery?
Cemetery is just out in the middle of nowhere. It's not attached to a church.
Okay.
So, so this package, I hadn't paid much attention to it but I love that broom.
You're making your own brooms.
But I decided, you know what? We have this fringe stuff, and I thought, I bet we could make our own brooms. But you know what? Now that I've seen these, I really do like them.
Well, you can do a lot on them. You could add rub-ons.
And they are solid. I mean, these things
they're like a resin.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of like a
Yeah,
resin.
and you could take rub-ons, some of his rub-ons, and rub the RIP, you know, all that in there. Okay, so
Maggie, I think it's amazing that you came up with a way to make these brooms. I think it's very inexpensive and fun.
and you can make a lot of them. I guess that's what I was thinking about. So anyway, I decided to put this up above, and then I made the broom and attached it, and then attached this. So it was very simple, and then I splattered some black paint on that.
Donna says she has a hard time using this paper, so here's great ideas today on how to use the cut apart.
Yeah, you know, if you just get a cut apart and say, I'm going to see how many cards I can make or how many coasters I can make, it's really, you just cut them out and lay them around, and then you go, oh, let's try this, or what about this? And so then this one right here is from here, and I think I took a plaid piece. I had a plaid piece that I put behind, and I think it's from the same line. And so then I just cut it down, and I rounded the corners because I wanted it smaller than a 4x4 because I wanted to be able to see that mat. And then I inked it all up, laid it on there, and then what I did is I took this fringe. Now Tim has two fringes. We're going to use the cream one for the brooms, and this is the black. And then I laid it with glue all the way around, right at the seam line because he has a stitch line.
So you just kind of turned it then around the corners?
Yes, yeah. And
Oh my gosh,
you can kind of see that.
It's so cute.
And then I covered it with another 4x4 piece of just craft paper, and then that, you know, kept it inside.
And these, I don't, you probably said it, but I don't remember, but these are made on coasters.
Yes.
We're the big
4x4.
coaster store here, you guys. We make a lot of stuff on the little coasters.
I absolutely love coasters. I love the texture of them. I like how you can ink them, you can sand them.
And we call them coasters, but we need to show what they are. So here's the before and the after of Maggie's project.
So they are, and you can just buy a bunch of them and have them handy.
I have a pile on my desk.
They come in so handy, and especially if you want to make a cute little gift. Hostess gift. We went up to visit some friends, and so I made each of the ladies a little
did you
coaster.
really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So anyway, and it was just very simple, and I even bought a little easel to go with it. So anyway, so that's how I made that one. So now I've used this, and I've used this, and then this one. Oh, and then I sprayed it, and we'll get to the sprays, but I sprayed this
Let
one.
me get up close so they can see this.
We'll
spray.
get to the sprays, Kelly, because
So it's
I
the
love
mica
these sprays.
stains.
these are the mica stains. This one is called Flickering Candle. And I was telling Doug this morning, I said, I bought these when they first came out in the
In the 3-pack?
3-pack. And the reason I bought them, number one reason, is their names. And
The
this one
names?
was
Oh my
Flickering
gosh.
Candle. I just loved it. So I just sprayed it on there, and then I added a little glossy accents right here on the moon.
So that's
to give it a
just,
little-
you just cut out that piece.
Yes, there
and
it
they're
is,
4
right
by
there.
4, which is the size of the coasters.
And so then you have an instant little coaster.
And then they're harder, so when you're putting them on the easel or
Yeah,
displaying
they're
them,
more than a card. I guess to me it's like a little gift that's more than a card, but doesn't
there's the
cost
glossy
very much.
accents,
It's kind of
which is
inexpensive.
glossy accents is just fun to use. And if you make them, you could write a note on the back if you're giving them as a gift. You know, put Happy Halloween 2024 from Maggie
Yeah.
or
And sometimes, like I did on this one, I like covering the backs. It gives it a nice little finish. So this one is, I had these laying left over, so there's that. And I needed a little gold, and I was too lazy to go get a piece of cardstock. So I took this,
that's perfect.
and I laid this on top of this, and then I had it matched. But I'm going to show you this one. I'm going to show you this in a little bit of how I did the background and how I did that one. So one piece of paper, and I still have lots of pieces left that I can use. I like this one, putting the boo in booty.
I like that
I like
too.
that one, which I will probably use.
I used this paper in our kit for the
Yeah, you
Scary
did.
Stories card kit. That's one of the papers
Okay,
you get.
So what I'm going to show you here is I really got into these inks. These I got
She
these,
got these.
last year or a couple years ago, and they have been sitting on my counter. But Kelly, I think we should show all the ones that are possible, and I think we should tell the names because
Yeah, we
the
can show
names
them.
are so worth it. So we'll start up here. These are all available individually.
So these are the distressed mica stains for Halloween. We just got the Christmas ones in.
This one is Hocus Pocus, Fallen Acorn, Phantom Mist,
And you can get the colors individually. It used to be you had to buy them in a set.
Jack-o'-lantern, which would probably be a great orange. This is the one I used on my broomsticks, Crooked Broomstick.
Did you use it because of the name or
I
the
did.
color?
Both, but that's why I picked it. Iron Gate, Mulled Cider. I just love the names. Unraveled. I wanted to be in that meeting when they decided what they should call them. Bubbling Cauldron. Specimen, which is a cool gray-green. This one is Wicked Elixir. Empty Tomb.
Wait, go. Okay, there we go.
That's a cool color. Yeah, I might have used that one.
Maggie loves the names. you guys.
Harvest Moon. Burning Ember. Fortune Teller. Isn't
I
that
like that
beautiful
name, yes.
Purple. Decayed.
That is Becky's favorite. And Becky's going to be here in a couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's coming
And
back. Okay, that one.
Ominous Twilight. That's a deep, deep purple. So you have lots of choices. They all can be bought individually. And you know what, Kelly? I'm not sure how much they are.
I don't know either, but I'm sure Janet will link the
Oh, okay.
category. She'll link the category for us. Maggie, Angie has been making coasters and for her daughter on her desk at her office.
I love that.
And she does both sides so that her daughter can see one side and one side faces out. Isn't that a great idea?
That's a great idea. Or you could make fall and winter, and so then when you could have one for fall and then flip it
Can
over,
you see what the price is?
and then you'd have winter. But you know, if I was giving this as a gift, I would probably cover the back and then sign it or something like that.
Maggie, I got to interrupt you here because Bunny is sharing a memory about you.
Oh no!
She says you probably don't remember, but at the crop last year, you had a branch in your hands, and she was standing behind you, and you turned around, and she says you nearly clipped her with it. Is that when?
I'm glad I didn't.
Excuse me.
Bunny, but
Is that
I
when you were
think I
carrying those
kinda
big
remember it.
limbs,
Yeah,
those big branches around?
449.
Okay.
when we had made up some pumpkins, and they were made with strips of paper last year, and we had them on display, and then at the top I added some twigs, and so a lot of people came in and were buying the paper and the directions
And
on
you
how to make it.
supplied twigs for them from
Well,
your,
so
from
what
your
I
tree?
did is when I went out to the crop, just so happened to park right beside this giant twig, and so I picked it up and brought it in.
Of course
and
you did.
cut some off for people so that they could put the stem on their pumpkins.
See, nobody, I don't know if any other stores do that kind of stuff, but we do here at Memory Bound.
Only at Memory Bound can
Exactly.
you get real live twigs.
And Chris just reported these are $4.49 for the distressed mica stains.
And they do last forever. I mean, you can.
And they're
Spray and
it's part
spray.
of the Halloween release, but you don't have to use them just for Halloween.
Oh, gosh,
if you like
no.
the colors, use them for a lot of things.
And you know what, Kelly? You could use. We have Christmas ones too, so we'll have to read the
Oh, yes.
words to Christmas.
We'll be
sometime.
back.
Anyway, okay, I'm going to show you two things. The thing I like about these sprays is the fact that you can spray them on a coaster, and this coaster just soaks it up. It doesn't run, and so that's how I got these.
Oh, and you're going to spray some
Yes,
for us?
so I'm going to show you. I think what I used, I did this last
Or you
night.
can use whatever color. We don't
Yeah,
care.
I think on this one I used Empty Tomb, and then I went in because I wanted to kind of give an idea of like some moonlight. Flickering Candle is one of my favorites. And then I think that I took a purple.
It looks like you got a little purple on
I
there.
did. I sprayed a little purple, and I think I used Hocus Pocus. And you're going to love how this sprays because it just soaks into this. This is pretty porous. So I'm going to show you. We'll start out with, what's this one? Let's do.
Well, they're absorbent because remember, you guys, these are coasters. Like if you were having a beverage somewhere, whatever kind of beverage you like, a lot of times at restaurants and bars, they have their logo and stuff printed on them, and they do absorb.
They do.
Your drink sweat or whatever.
Kelly has a nice white blouse on, so I'm going
to come up here so we can see what you're doing.
I'm going to show you how quick and easy. Now, when I stir this, I kind of do this until I can look at the bottom and see that there's no sediment. Sediment.
And you can see, you can't really tell very well. Like on this one, if I can get focused, see how all that good stuff is at the bottom?
Yes.
So you've got to mix it up, otherwise you're not going to get your shimmer.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with Hocus Pocus. And I just want you to see, if you commit really fast, you're going to get more of a mist. If you do it a little slower, you're going to get drops. It just depends on what you want. So
what are you going for?
I'm going to go for the mist first. So you just look at how quick, and it dries pretty quickly.
Ooh,
Isn't that gorgeous?
So it does dry pretty quick?
You don't want to touch it right away because it will just pick up on your fingers and it'll take it off that. But if you let that dry a little bit, you could use
shimmery.
But can you see the shimmer? Isn't that
now when you turn it.
Beautiful purple.
Yes, it is.
I love that purple. Okay, then we're going to go with...
Janet just linked your box that you're using. It's the Tim Holtz
Splat
box. And it was one of his, what do you call that? That one year when he had hacks. It was a hack.
Oh.
And it's $8.99, and it folds up flat. I think that's why it's so popular, because a lot of us don't have a big box sitting around in our craft room.
No, and you know what, Kelly? I do enough splattering at my house. I don't even have one of these at home, and I need one because, I end up going outside, and I lean my stuff against a rock, and I know the neighbors.
I thought you were going to say the house. You lean it against the house.
I lean it against the rock. So you know what? That's going to be my investment today, is my splat box.
We'll have to get you one.
Okay.
Or tell me when your birthday is, and I'll take care of it for you.
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So now we're going to...
And you probably don't see the shimmer as well on the camera as you do. Oh, let me turn the light back on. We had a glare earlier, and I had to turn it off.
Okay, maybe they can see it now. And what I like about it, even though you did it kind of mist, you still have these little drops. Okay, so I'm going to...
Maggie, is it water reactive? If you spray it and then put a little water on it?
That's a good question.
I didn't know. We could try it.
Yeah. I don't think you have to, because you get the drops. Like, I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to not commit, and I'm going to just...
So she's doing big blobs now. Jean says she wishes the box came in 12 by 12. That's an idea for Tim.
Yeah. See how if you do it kind of slow, you get drops, blobs? Mm-hmm. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And this could just be a background for any Halloween thing.
And we have a question, Maggie. Dawn wants to know if you have trouble with the mica rubbing off.
I let it dry. When I did it last night, I went to pick it up while it was still wet, and it just came right off. It had my fingerprint there. Once it's dry, I don't think so. No.
I think what Teresa had said, so she's rubbing on that coaster.
Yeah,
I feel like Teresa said it depends on the surface that you're using, that some papers.
Well, maybe. Because this is so porous, it just soaks in.
And she, in her kit, her spiderweb coaster kit, she put a little bit different cardstock in it for spraying because of that.
That probably is true. These coasters, it's not going to rub off. Okay, I'm going to try Wicked Elixir.
Okay, let's see that
And
on
see,
the camera.
I just keep stirring it up until it doesn't.
So here's the one she's going to use next.
Sorry, I was busy
That's okay,
shaking
shaking. So your first one that you used was Hocus Pocus?
The
So there's
first
Hocus
one
Pocus.
was Hocus Pocus. Look at this, Kelly. I haven't even used this one.
Oh my gosh, it's brand new. She has to open it. And if you're just joining us, Maggie's here for Friday the 13th, Freaky Friday, doing some Halloween projects. And she likes the distressed mica stains because of their names. She buys them for the name, not the color. Dawn, I would say to try some different cardstocks. We had a very smooth white cardstock, and it did kind of rub off. But we're both rubbing on this, and
yeah, it's not going
nothing
anywhere.
on my finger.
Okay. He really packages them well.
Well, if Maggie gets this open before
We can try a
10:30.
different color before I kill myself. All right,
We're gonna do a different color.
I'm going to do this one. This
What's
one,
that one?
is called Bubbling Cauldron.
okay, so
It's a green too.
it's a green, but it's just a different green. They don't mix together and make mud.
No,
Or
you
do they
can
do
just
that?
keep going over
So
the top.
Okay, you don't have to wait for them to dry.
I kind of dried it a little bit because I kind of wanted this moon. Well, then I end up covering it up, but I let it dry. I don't know. Okay, ready? It's
We're-
dry
we're ready.
enough, so we're going to put some,
Hey, this is
Gloves.
live TV. We can't wait.
see how you can,
Oh my gosh.
because you don't want to, oh gosh, that's cool.
Look at how fast it's drying.
It soaks in like crazy on coasters.
I think the coasters are.
Okay, so wouldn't that make a great background? And then what we have is these, Tim's got the new packaging for,
With the layers.
this is layers. It hasn't even been opened yet, so we're going to dump, Kelly.
Oh, it's not Wednesday, but we can dump
Yeah.
on Friday.
I think you should see the
There's
paper
a
dolls.
question for you. When you were making blobs, were you squeezing slower? Is that where
Yes,
you
you
lightly?
squeeze slower. Mm-hmm.
And Jan says she wishes they would make the packages easier to open.
Wow, it's
so she
pretty
doesn't
tight
end
on
up
there.
In the ER.
Okay, we've got the portraits, but okay, so here's an example. Then you could put this on here, and you could have him holding her broom. And what I would do is pop these up, and I probably shouldn't have laid this on there while it was still wet, but it's pretty dry. But see how and Teresa has talked about this, the arms are made
Yes.
to,
I wonder if they
hold
could be
things.
sitting on the broom. Could they sit on the broom?
oh my gosh, Kelly, you
I mean,
always
put
have
it under
such
their
good
butts?
ideas. Oh, that's perfect. You know, they're always talking about how do you ground people.
And
Okay,
then he
so
could hold something maybe.
yes, a pumpkin. Now look at this. Here's her, and she has her hand perfect for that broom.
Yes, she
There's
does.
that, and let's see here. Oh, she could be. These are his paper dolls, and they're all really perfect for.
So Maggie's using let me grab it here so I can tell everybody what you got. It is the layers and paper dolls for this year's Halloween. And it's oh gosh, how many pieces? 64
oh my
pieces.
gosh.
And we might not be able to get Maggie away from this because
Look at that. See, she's holding. Let's see, one more. But look at all these. Oh, here's another one. If you end up buying a package and it has a little bit of green paint on, you'll know that's the one I was showing with. But see how you could make her holding her broom. So there's a lot of possibilities. He's got his arm out. She's got her arm.
I remember Teresa meant, okay, here, can these guys sit on it? Just so I can see it.
Maybe we could do this. Lay it here.
And then you can
Oh
pop.
my gosh!
Isn't
And
that
then you
fun?
could put a little square from here if you wanted to, like I did. You could
Like
put let's get
boo or let's
spooky,
get spooky. Whoops, there it is, guys.
or put the boo and put the boo in booty. Let's see. Okay,
And
so look
very
at these
fun.
guys. A lot of them are sitting.
Teresa used these guys. These guys. Is that proper English?
Probably not.
She used this paper doll, and she took the stripes and she colored them. Do you remember that? on one of her projects.
She
so
did show
their
that
shirts
to me,
were had
yes.
a color.
But you know, even look at this.
Oh, there's the moon.
You could do a really cool background here. All sorts of fun with ephemera.
So we all know
look
how
at that. Oh my
Maggie's-
gosh. So yeah, once you lay this all out, then it gives you lots and lots of ideas of how to use them. So this is called the layers and paper dolls, right?
Yep. It's this year's Halloween.
Couldn't pass that up. So, okay, so now that we've shown you some of the sprays, I'm going to show you how to make a broom.
Oh, we want to know how
And
to make
again,
a
like I
broom.
said, his brooms, I love them. It's just that if you want to make a whole bunch of them,
You only get one broom in a package.
Yeah. So all you need is a stick, a nice twig. I thought that was a nice looking
any
one.
projects you can make with a stick.
You
Maggie's
need-
all over it.
You need the spray that is called Crooked Broomstick.
That's easy to remember.
Yes, and then you need some of the cream fringe.
So it's the fringe,
And
which
you're
actually
gonna
came
get,
out at Christmas, but we keep it year round because I really like it. And you can,
Yeah.
Maggie's going to show you how to make it a different color.
Yeah.
And she used the black fringe over here on this coaster, on her little display piece. So it comes in black and white. It's $4.99, and you get 3 yards, 2 strands, and they're each 1.5 yards.
And Kelly, before I
Oh.
show you how to make the broom, I did
Okay.
this just on the spur of the moment last night.
You made these last night? Oh my
And
gosh.
so I found 3 black books, and again, I have a friend that brings me books.
She
that
has
are
lots
gonna-
of books.
Yeah, and I find I like to keep like the orange ones, the black ones, and the red ones. The red ones are good for Christmas, or green too. But anyway, so it was so simple because it's made to be like a set. So you didn't have to cover each book.
Oh, you just covered the
So
front.
I took that paper and
Is this, this plaid.
yes, this is Photo Plays Trick or Treat.
Okay, it's spooky season.
And what's
And
nice
Janet can link that for
about
us.
it is, oops, and I did this too. Oh, what's nice about it is the other side is the stripe. So
So
I
you got-
really only used 2 sheets of paper. So I used this one.
Okay, and that's Photo Play Creepin' It Real. Real
And-
iconic.
I love anything with spider webs.
So we got 2 Photo Play papers. Spooky
and then the
season
back
and
is
Real
the
iconic.
plaid. There we go. So I used 2 sheets. And what's cool about it is you take 3 books. I got, one was kind of a cream, but it had a black binding. And so then I covered the front one. You figure out how you want
How
to
you
set
want
them
them
up.
set.
I wanted the middle one to be the tallest. And so I covered just the front. You don't need to worry about this if this is black for Halloween. Just cover this piece, and I just used collage medium. Glued it on, sanded it off, and that's the only front you have to do.
Right.
Then I took leftovers from those pages, and I used the same one as I did for the front, did that. And basically just cut a strip because you're going to sand all the way around it, so you don't have to worry about measuring it. I just cut a strip that's a little bigger. Then this is the stripe that's on the other side of this, and I love that. And then this is the plaid, and that's all you have to do. It was so simple because at first when I started doing it, I thought, oh, I got to cover all these books, but you don't have to.
You're only covering the top.
And so
the,
then you sand around all of them with a sanding tool. And then I sand along here to give it a kind of a rustic edge. This came from the ephemera, Tim Holt's new ephemera. And right here. And you could have used any of that too. But this, I had the ephemera, and that was a package I had opened. So I used that for the front. And then I just went through the ephemera and found things that I could use for the bindings. You could also find some words, like spooky and stuff, but I just used pieces of ephemera. And then I took black soot and just
Messed them up?
Messed them up. And you could make them even messier looking, but I just see this as sitting on your bookshelf
Oh,
for Halloween.
Or on your mantle, or
Yeah,
that's very fun.
but then what I did is I took some of this. This is Tim Holtz, what's he call it?
Mummy cloth.
Mummy cloth. And I actually, it's pretty thin, so I did two strips. And then I just took carved pumpkin, distress ink right there, and I smooshed it onto my craft mat, and then I just misted it a little bit with water and drugged this through it until I got the color I wanted. And then I felt like it was too one-dimensional, so I just took some black soot and used my blending tool and just daubed it a little bit. I
dirtied it
You know,
up.
I thought I wanted it darker, but I kind of like this faded look. So then, this is made to look like this, but if you wanted to lay it on here, you could either leave this here, or you could pull it around and have your bow
tie
here
at the top.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so easy because you don't really have to spend a lot of time gluing paper on. But
Well,
I
it's
just thought it
fun.
was
I
fun.
think they're just fun to have sitting around. And
Yeah.
And Maggie has done a video, one of our morning videos, where she covered books. I think it's for Christmas.
I did. That's
and you
been
can
a long
find
time
that
ago.
on our blog. Probably if you put books in the search.
Maybe, or just my name, and then.
And then Lisa also said, Maggie, can you try this? Lay them on the back and put a coaster on top. Lisa's idea is you could lay them down and then they elevate your coaster like.
Oh, you mean
So if
like
you want to kind of set it like
this.
this and then put a coaster on it.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I were.
oh my gosh, that looks good.
I love that.
Thank you for the idea, Lisa.
Yeah.
And we do have those black easels. They come in 3 sizes, so if you're looking for a little easel.
You could set up a little vignette here. These skulls. Okay, let's talk about
Want
these
to talk
skulls.
about skulls?
I love them. They're little, I think they're resin too, but they're solid. I mean, they're a nice
They're pretty.
little.
They're not like plastic. They're
No.
not like dollar store. They're not dollar store skulls.
No,
they're
and
Tim
they
Holtz.
sit up. Okay,
They're
so what do you think of
$5.99,
that?
and you're going to get 12. Oh no, I'm sorry, 10 for $5.99.
Okay, so let's do this.
Oh, Maggie's doing a whole vignette.
A whole vignette. There we go. Look
See,
at
you
that.
never know, Maggie, what ideas are going to come out, and look how cool that
That's
looks.
a great idea.
People
Okay.
watching our videos, you guys have some of the best ideas, and it's so good to hear other suggestions and things.
These are like dice.
They sound like dice.
They do.
You probably can't hear them.
I just like the way they sit up too.
There, now maybe people can hear
Yeah.
the dice.
And you know, another thing, Tim Holtz has rub-ons or
Oh, whoops,
stickers,
there you are.
and you can decorate these too with. So, oh my gosh, Kelly, that's
I
cute.
think I've seen this done. I didn't make this up, but I think I've also seen, here, let me, I've also
Love
seen where they
that.
put the skulls inside the cauldron.
It's just nice to have some skulls because you can just add it.
You always need a skull,
I
right,
thought
Maggie?
about this actually. I thought
Oh,
about
hanging it there?
just gluing him right there.
That would be good, too.
Yeah, maybe I can, right there, like that.
little hot glue.
Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so yeah, I had those books laying around and I wanted to get those done. Okay, so let's make a broom.
Let's make
So
a broom.
the first thing I did was I found the color that said Crooked Broomstick. And I thought, well, if it's called Crooked Broomstick, it must
be appropriate.
Must be, yes. Okay, so what we're going to do, again, you really have to, each time you use these,
Yeah, you want to get that mica out of the bottom.
yeah, and that little ball in there does that. Okay, so I just laid out, oh, let's see, how long, would you say that's about 2.5 inches?
Yeah, a couple inches.
Cut a piece.
Oh, we're spraying it. You're not going to spray in your box?
I probably should.
Or outside in front of the store like you do at home? We'll find you a rock.
Okay, yes, a nice big rock. So I'm just going to spray, and I commit, so we're getting a mist. And then flip it over.
So you've got to spray both sides.
Yes, and sometimes after it dries, when you get done, I probably should have brought my heat tool. You can kind of lift up. I didn't worry about it too much, but you can kind of do
Kind of
this.
mess up the...
Well, and then you can spray again because see how it shows up. But you want a little bit of that because it gives a little bit of depth, I guess.
Is that going to dry in time to make a broom? Or
I'm going to show you what I did. Chris? Oh, Teresa, could I have a paper towel, please? Teresa's back there working. She doesn't want to be interrupted. Okay.
And Teresa's working on her Merry Maker project. We had a lot of questions about that yesterday.
What I did is I did not have my, thank you. I didn't have my heat tool. Look at this. It does wonders for your, no, I'm good. Thank you. Okay, so what I did then, I didn't have my heat tool out, so I did the lazy way. And I did that. And that kind of gives it a little bit more variegation where it, that's what I did. But you could use your heat tool.
Probably your heat tool and your handle it tool. So Maggie, if I knew I was going to make several brooms, would you just cut off a longer length and could you spray them all at once, or do you have to?
I guess in my mind, if I was going to do it, I would probably cut my little pieces like this, lay them all out, and then
and then spray them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you could spray a lot of them. All right. So now that you've gone out into your woods and picked up your stick, then all you need right now is some glue, and I use Nuvo. It's a little damp. I would probably let it dry, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, and I want the end of my stick right there about at the seam where they stitched it together. And I'm going to start out with just a little glue. You don't need much, but and then just twist it like that. And I was surprised at how little you needed. And then you just put some glue like that. How little fringe you needed. So you can get a lot of brooms.
So you're keeping the top fringe loose. You're just gluing kind of in the middle.
Yep, right on that stitch line.
Well, you've got 3 yards of fringe.
Yeah, and if you're only using
and if you
like
can do
3
18
inches,
or 15 per yard or something,
you'd get a lot out of a package.
A lot of brooms.
Okay, so there you've got that.
There's Maggie's fingers, very typical.
Then you take some natural twine.
And maybe you let it dry at home.
Yes.
If you're doing this at home, let your spray dry.
Let your spray dry and then twist it, but it's going to work. Okay, so now I'm going to take, and I can't tell you how much twine I used, so we're just going to take a piece. And I'm going to come up here right about at the seam, but just a little higher.
Maggie, I'm so impressed that you came up with this. I mean, so
I
she
figured
was
this is how
inspired.
they must have made brooms back in the day. And then I'm going to just work my way up and just keep going around. And I just kind of kept going over and over, so it was kind of looked professionally done, I guess is the word. But if you want it creepy looking, just...
It looks very professional.
And so I didn't go all the way to the top. I like to leave just a little bit, just like they did back when they used to make them. So we're going to cut this off. And again, you can start out with maybe
So you don't tie it then? You just glue it?
I just glue it. And then just use a little bit of glue. And finish off that end like that. And then I just kind of did this.
Mess it up a little?
A little bit, not a lot. We don't want it to look like a feather duster. And this is way too long, so we're going to...
Oh, whoa.
Just break it.
How'd you know that would break so easy?
I picked up a lot of twigs.
You've done it before. She's done it before.
So there you go. And there's your witch's broom. So you could make a lot of them. You could... you know, attach. I thought about attaching a little charm.
Oh, that would be
If you
neat.
wanted to, you know, just have it displayed somewhere, you could do that. I just like them kind of just leaning against things, like, just.
Yes, I like that too.
So, see how easy that was?
I like it just leaning. And I like this one where you use the Scary Stories paper that said Feeling Witchy. And you've got it kind of lined at an angle like it's flying up with that broom on top, or that witch on top of it.
And I thought about this too, tucking this in
Oh,
here.
yeah, let's do it. Betty says, thanks for sharing. She loves your projects.
I like that.
Everyone is loving. I like that too.
And so Crooked Broomstick, it's a beautiful gold brown.
Good for fall. Not
yes.
just brooms, but for fall.
I don't think
Which a lot of these colors I think would be good for fall.
I don't think you can go wrong with any of the colors, but I just love the names lined up.
Look at that burning ember. That's a beautiful color too. And I mentioned earlier, Decayed is Becky Thrapp's favorite color. I don't know that she's watching, but she'll be here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and mine is, the one that is comparable to that is Empty Tomb, and that's kind of a darker.
There's Empty Tomb.
And we also have the Christmas colors in too, and they have equally pretty names. I love the names.
They say that you need the hand sanitizer and the scrubby for your fingers. Oh my gosh, They love this, Maggie. Good job.
Thank you.
We got so much today because we learned how to make these books, which
I really
is
like
a
that
nice
broom
display.
tucked in there.
I like the broom in there too. You showed us how to use the Scary Stories paper to make some coaster decorations.
And a thing that I tend to do is to stay inside the confines of my coaster, and so sometimes and Kelly has taught me this, is to move out and add dimension, and you don't have
things
to stay
popping off.
Yeah,
well,
you
even
don't
like
have to
this
stay
one,
inside.
with the fringe going around.
And then something just as simple as this. I mean, it took nothing to do this.
Well, and with that glossy accents on the moon.
on the moon.
And if you're not familiar with glossy accents, it comes in a little bottle if you just want to get some to try. There's a bigger bottle, of course, if you love it and you want to use it more. But you can also just get the little bottle.
But Kelly, I used one sheet of paper for that. But you could have this one package of paper dolls and what's it called? Layers in paper dolls?
Yes. Yep.
One package. Oh my gosh. Just lay it all out and just start layering on your. Look at that. Wouldn't that be cool on the front of one of your books?
The thing that Tim's doing now is mixing the paper dolls with some of the layers or some of the ephemera, which is really nice.
Look at this on the front of a book.
Oh, that would be really good.
And that, some people might
Jennifer
not like
used that on the front of one of her cards. Depends on how creepy you want to be.
But, even this moon
And
could show up in.
And it doesn't have to be Tim Holtz
like
creepy.
that, too.
You could do your books in Doodlebug Halloween.
You certainly could. I
do
thought
them
of
any
that.
style you like. We're doing Tim Holtz today.
Yeah, I thought of that too. If you wanted it to be just cutesy and kid-friendly, you could easily use Doodlebug Halloween.
Cheryl said to put the spiders in the trash. Somebody's afraid of spiders.
But you could have bats coming off the edges. Like here, we could have easily put a bat coming off the edge. So don't be afraid to go outside the confines.
Outside of the coaster. Think outside of the coaster.
Yes. Yep.
Well, Maggie, this has been fabulous, and thank you so much. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I hope you have a crafty weekend. On Monday, we will be broadcasting from Texas with Janet, and she's got a craft along using the cider and donuts, or donuts and cider. I think it's cider and donuts card kit from Simple Stories. So if you want to join us for that, we'd love to have you. You can watch live or later.
A couple more packages at least that you can.
Oh yeah, we still have the
get.
card kit. We have the add-on, and we have our inserts are still very much available. So we'll see you on Monday from Texas. Have a wonderful weekend. Maggie, thanks again, and we'll be back on Monday. So see you then, everybody.